Welcome back, Power-Ups, to the finale of our PSA return. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. How's it going, everybody? Hope you guys are all having a great day today. If not, maybe this video can help cheer you up. Today, we will be doing the last bit of our 110 plus PSA return that took over a year and a half with some change, all of that. Submitted February 21st of 2021, and it came back to me in September? No, August, the end of August. Came back to me at the end of August, and this is the last stack of cards. Personally, one of my favorite stacks because this is some of the base set 2 that I sent off in hopes of completing a PSA 7 or higher collection of base set 2 with at least a swirl visible 70% on the card. I know, very technical there. But yeah, so this is a lot of the base set 2 stuff that I sent in. I have Charizard, PSA 7 and a PSA 8, both with swirls on them. So I'm trying to complete the set with all of them. So it's a little, not experiment, but a little project that I'm doing. There you go, project. So yeah, so let's go ahead. We're gonna put a cover up on here, put a cover up on the one underneath to hide the grades. And before we get into the grades, if you are new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. I do PSA return, Pokemon openings, some Pokemon content. So if you enjoy all that, subscribe. Also hit the like button if you find yourself enjoying this video, or the dislike button if you don't like the video. Just let me know. Helps improve the channel. Thank you guys for all the support. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. Very excited. Again, this is my favorite stack. And we're going to start things off with a Dark Gyarados pre-release from Team Rocket. I don't think this one had a swirl on it. I just bought it because I love the pre-release one of Dark Gyarados. Very awesome card. So thought, hey, why not buy it? Very cheap. All these cards I bought fairly cheap at the time. It was pre-boom era, so I got them for fairly cheap. But we have Dark Gyarados here, and we're gonna start it off with a PSA 8. Now I'm totally okay with that. Again, a lot of these I bought cheap, submitted very cheap, and now they're back in my possession, and I'm happy with this. I like the Dark Gyarados. So actually, let's move these off to the side, so that way I can bring in the stands, and we can go ahead and get started. There we go. Next up, we have probably one of my favorite base set 2 holos, the Pidgeot. I love the artwork, I love the background of this card. Now, I don't think, was this one had a swirl on it, right? So this one didn't have a swirl that was prominently there. It's right here at the top. You can see it, yeah, you can kind of see it going around right there. It wasn't a really good swirl, but I like this card a lot. Bought it, thought it looked clean. I thought it did. But there must be something wrong with it because this one got a PSA 5. And I have no idea why. There must be like an indent on the card that I missed. There has to be an indent on the card that I missed, because usually that's the case when it comes to this. Because looking at the back, didn't see much. Not a lot of whitening. I was like, oh, this card's pretty clean. But I tried looking, I couldn't find an indent. Maybe it was just like, just rough edges. But yeah, I couldn't find anything on this card. It got a 5. I was very surprised at that. But still, one of my favorite base set 2 or Pokemon artworks in general from old the WotC era. Next up, we have a slabbed Gyarados from base set 2. And this one, did this one have the swirl? No. And it must be in the other one. I sent in 2 of these Gyarados. When I bought this, I thought the swirl was right here by the mouth. I was like, oh, that's cool. That wasn't a swirl. It was just part of the holo pattern. But yeah, PSA 7. So I was okay with that. I was like, ah, that's fine. You know, I could complete the 7 with that one. It's not a swirl, which I don't know if now that I think about it, I don't know if the Charizard has a swirl. My PSA 8 has a swirl between the wings. I showcased that off in one of my previous collection videos. So yeah, I'm actually gonna put that there. Actually, you might get swapped out right now either way, because we have another Gyarados here. I believe this one Did this one have the swirl? I don't know if this one had the swirl either. It was so tough for me to find cards on eBay that had the swirl in base set 2. Because a lot of these water types, Poliwrath is probably one of the toughest ones. It's hard to see the swirl in there. But yeah, I'm trying to see. Don't think it has one here. Anyways, grade on this Gyarados? PSA 7. So I got 2 of them. And not one of them had a swirl on it. But 2 PSA 7s. I'm okay with that. Actually, we're going to put you down. We're going to put you there. So far, our best one is a PSA 8. I'll only keep 8s and higher on the stands. Unless it's a really cool card. Next up, we have Scyther. And there it is. See the swirl? That is a nice swirl right there. Really nice. So I sent 2 of these Scythers off. I sent this one out because I thought it was good. I was like, hopefully it could get an 8. I'm hoping for an 8. Don't mind a 7 because I have 2 Charizards. Again, just rehashing that, establishing that I have a Charizard PSA 7 and a PSA 8 base set 2 with swirls. So I'm trying to put the set together. But I sent 2 off. This one, I thought it looked good. The other one had scuff on it. I was like, well, let's see what PSA does about that. I heard that they don't clean. I heard they clean. So I was like, let me send it off. If they do, it's in good condition. It's just the scuff on the card. So yeah, beautiful swirl there. Scyther, base set 2. Love it. PSA 7. That is a nice one. That is a beautiful card right there. Now, as for the other Scyther, we don't have a swirl here, right? But I know that they cleaned the card because it was all of this. It looked like someone spilled something or there was just scuff on it, but it was deep. Like it needed to be cleaned really good. And it got cleaned. I was like, whoa. It got cleaned. It's really nice. There's a lot of shine on the card. I thought this was going to get like a 4. But this one also got a 7. I was like, whoa. And I just reaffirmed that PSA does clean your cards. As long as they could be wiped down. But yeah, if it has a deep like dirt engraved into it, yeah, it's probably not gonna get clean. But this one got clean and it got a 7. And I must say, I was really surprised and very thrilled. I got 2 PSA 7 Scythers. One with a swirl, one with not. But yeah, that was pretty sweet. Alright, next up, we have an Alakazam. I bought 2 of these because I wasn't sure where the swirl was on these. And I think this one didn't have a swirl. But yeah, it was tough to see. A lot of these cards with dark backgrounds are hard to see. So I bought multiples of them. So I could see if they had it when they came in. And I had it in hand. But we have an Alakazam base set 2. No swirls on this one. But it snagged a PSA 8. That is a nice card. Alakazam, one of my favorite Pokemon. Very happy he's going to get a Radiant card in Silver Tempest. Really excited about that. But here's another one. We got another Alakazam. I think, did this one have a swirl? It did. This one's right above the head. You can see it right there. I think this one I was able to see it. It was actually an auction. It came after I bought this one. I was like, dude, I gotta have it. That's a beautiful swirl right there. It looked good. And this one snagged a PSA 7. So, okay. I have two cards in PSA 7 that have swirls. That is a Scyther and Alakazam. So it's coming together decently. But that is a nice card right there. Unfortunately, that one doesn't have a swirl. Or maybe it does. Like, maybe that's a swirl right there. It looks like it. But this right here, see how like it goes in and then goes out? I don't know. It doesn't look completely like it. But still, it's a nice card in an 8, and I'm happy about that. Now, probably the most expensive card that I bought from this, when I was sending in cards raw to try to get them graded. And it was because this was like, I think the only Blastoise that I saw. Did it even have? It should have one, right? That was the only reason why I sent it in, because it had a piece of the swirl on it. I don't think it does have it. I thought it did. But oh well. We have a Blastoise base set 2. Thought it looked fairly clean. I know it had this up here, but some of the other cards that I sent in that had this type of condition got different grades. Got pretty decent grades. And for this one, Blastoise base set 2, it got a 4. And that just means, to me, when I look at it, I have to look this under another light, where there might be like some type of indent somewhere. Because the foil was okay. It looked scuffs here and there, but it wasn't bad. But yeah. Oh, was that it right there? No, that wasn't it. Thought I had a swirl in it. This is probably the most expensive card that I bought, and it got, I think, the worst grade out of all of this. So that kind of sucks. Next up, base set 2 Venusaur. Now this one cost me more than the base set Venusaur that I got. And I did a PSA return on that one, right? I think I did a long time ago. Yeah, but a PSA return. We have Venusaur here. Beautiful swirl right there. Venusaur takes up most of the frame, but we have a beautiful swirl showing all of its glory. Just need a 7 or higher in this card. And this one snagged a PSA 7. So it looks like I'm gonna be putting the 7 set together first before the 8. But this is a beautiful card. Really nice. Love that Venusaur. Actually, I know I said 8s are better, but this is a nice card. We got a Venusaur. Put that right there. Alright, next one, we got a Mewtwo. Now this Mewtwo has a swirl right down here. Look at that. Right there. Beautiful card. Thought it looked decent. Again, at the time, I mean, I know it had that, but at the time, $9, $8, nothing to get these cards graded. It was well worth it. And this one snagged a PSA 6. Hoping for a 7 at least. It got a 6. It has a beautiful swirl there, so very unfortunate. Not a bad card either. But yeah, PSA 6, base set 2 Mewtwo. That hurt. Next up, one of my favorite Pokemon. We have a Zapdos. Base set 2. You can see it's down there, right? Yes, you can see the swirl right there. It's right there. It was on the lightning bolt. Decided to get it. Looked clean. Hoping for a 7 or better. Again, we snagged a PSA 8. That is nice. So that is going with the PSA 8 Charizard. Really happy to have this one. Not really inching closer to the PSA 8 swirl stuff, but that's one right there. Next up, we have a Nidoqueen. Look at that. Beautiful swirl right there down the bottom. Thought this one looked good. I have a Nidoking up next. Nidoking looked good. Thought this one looked better, but apparently I was wrong. This one, PSA 6. That threw me off. Again, a lot of the stuff, I mean, I know that down there. But yeah, some of the other stuff that I sent him before, very different grades. So that was tough for me. I thought, I was like, okay, maybe this could get a 7. I was hoping for a 7. A lot of this stuff I do hope for a 7. Now we have a Nidoking. We have a swirl right there. You can see it to the side. It's right here. At least 70% on the card, and that is like 70 to 80%. So it's there. We got the swirl. 7 or higher. That is what I want. This one got an 8. I was surprised, but I wasn't complaining. We got 2 8s now. And you can see, off-centered, but still pretty clean. Very nice card. 2 8s. Love it. Alright. So, nothing's going to take the spot of the Alakazam or Venusaur so far. Next up, we have Poliwrath. Now, these were hard to tell when I was purchasing these on eBay, if it had a swirl or not. I don't think this one had a swirl, but it still looked pretty clean. So I sent it off. Again, hoping for a 7 or better. And we got an 8. We have 2 PSA 8 base set 2 cards that don't have swirls. I need to find some that do have swirls. That was really nice there. Ninetales. Love Ninetales from base set 2. That one has a beautiful swirl right there. Look at that. Thought this one looked clean. Really did. I think all of them. Again, I'm hoping for 7s or better when I sent these in. So, you know, I know there was some condition, but hoping for 7s. And 6s were what I was getting. A lot of them. Not all my swirls. But yeah, very sad. PSA 6 Ninetales base set 2. Beautiful card. Alright, next up, we have a Raichu with a nice swirl right there. Now these are tough because print lines, scratches on the surface of these light cards. Yeah, they look at them very carefully for that. But this one, PSA 6. And again, I thought, like yeah, I know that, but does it really deserve a 6? A lot of these must have had like some type of like nail indent or print somewhere that really lower the grade, but I mean I sent them off a year ago, over a year, so I don't remember with condition. I was just sending things off because it was cheap and they were going to close down, so I just got what I could get out. But next up, Magnaton, another condition sensitive card that's very tough to get a good grade in. We have a beautiful swirl right there, base set 2, Magnaton Snag Day, PSA 8. I was surprised. I was like, how did the Raichu not get a 7 at least, and this one get an 8? Because you can see, look at, we have that big one there. We have whitening there. Like, look at, is that part of this? That was part of the slab. Yeah, I guess this one was just in better condition. Again, maybe there was an indent I missed on here. But yeah, PSA 8. So it surprises me with Pokemon sometimes. Can't really get it. But here we go. We have a Hitmonchan, beautiful swirl. I knew, look at all those scratches there. I was like, okay. My Charizard that got a 7 and an 8, they had scratching on the surface. Everything else was pretty clean. This one has scuffs and scratches everywhere. But, you know, a little light on the cornering. Hoping for, again, 7s. This one got a 5. Not the worst card of the submission. Blastoise has that one. But a PSA 5 for Hitmonchan. Disappointed in that one. Very disappointed. Alright, next up. These are really condition sensitive. It's tough to get these in good grades. So, I don't think I got any of these in a really high grade. Really tough Chansey Clefairy, I believe it was. Clefable, which might be these last ones. But we have a beautiful swirl. Right there, right next to its foot. This one's Snag Day, PSA 5. Yeah, very tough. Look at that. I thought this was like in the same condition as the Magneton at least. But again, there must be like some type of like divot or imprint on the card that really got it to this low grade. Unfortunate. But that's the way it is sometimes. Alright, next up, Chansey. These were easy to see if they had swirls or not. That one had a beautiful swirl right there. Again, a lot of surface scratching. So, very visible. But when you look at it like that, beautiful card. Looks well centered and everything. Look at the back. Don't see much whitening. This one's Snag Day, PSA 5. So let me know what you think. Do you think that scratching really warrants it that low? Considering that everything else, it looks well centered. There's not much whitening. There wasn't a lot of silvering when I was looking at them. And then on the back of this one, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it warrants to be resent. But yeah, that's tough. Alright. Ooh, we do not have the Clefable. We do have a Clefairy here, and if you look at the Clefairy, this one's not as scratched up as the other ones. Do we have a swirl though? I think we should have a swirl, right? Did I have a swirl on this one? I guess not. Base set 2 Clefairy. Let's check out the back. Back looked pretty decent. No, not a lot of whitening, not a lot of lift. So I was like, again, hoping for a 7. This one got a 6. Like, come on. That's not terrible. And if your card has a divot and everything looks good on it, like the centering's perfect, surface is great, corners, edges have no whitening whatsoever. An indent on the card, even like large or small, minimum grade you could get is a 7. No, a 6. I believe 6 is the highest grade you could get. So maybe not even a divot on the card, considering that it does have the surface issues and everything. But yeah, that was tough. And finally, the last card of the submission, the one that got misplaced in the submission. I got placed at the end of it instead of with the other evolutions. Glaceon Gx. Hidden Fates. Got an ultra modern card here to go with all these vintage. And we snagged a PSA 10. Our only 10 of this part of the reveal. But still, a very good 10. But that's going to do it for this one. I will have some more PSA returns coming back. I have another, I believe it's going to be a 60 card submission that I sent in again during February of 2021. So hopefully that'll come back pretty soon. But let me know what you guys think. 2 of my favorite cards here. Alakazam, Venusaur with a beautiful swirl. Alakazam getting a PSA 8 with no swirl. Yeah, let me know what you guys think of this part. Comment down in the section below, or comment in the comment section below. And subscribe to catch more Pokemon PSA returns, openings, and all that good stuff. Until next time, Power-Ups, have yourselves a great day. Stay safe out there. I'll hold this one up. And I'll see you in the next video.